create view. What is the name you want to give? I'll say production staff customer summary. Okay, this is my name of my view. Then you should give as, and below just copy paste this entire select string. Okay, what this will do is this will basically create a view with this name. And in order to fetch this information behind the scenes, it will use this query. It will use this select statement. Okay. First, let's go ahead and run this query. Okay. Now it says commands completed successfully. Go ahead and refresh. Now, right below the tables, you have one more section, one more folder called views. And if you see here, the one which we just now created, that object is created. And if you expand, all the columns are now available. Now let's go ahead and query this object, select star from this object name. You will get the same results. Please note, this is not a table. This is a virtual table. Okay. This is just behind the scene. It is calling this SQL query. Okay. Whereas in the previous scenario, what we did was we created a table, physical table create करके हमने data को store कर दिया है. Now imagine there are 10 more customers getting added to that. उस table में नहीं दिखेगा because that is a table. What you did was you took the results and saved it in the table. But now this is a view, which means every time it goes and query this table, join these tables and get the data. Which means if 100 customers gets added, I can go ahead and just say select star from this. Automatically, I will see that information. Okay. Now, how do you know that it's a SQL query? On this object, if you right click and click on create script view as, you can see here, it is basically calling you the same statement. That is one thing. Second is, you cannot update anything. You cannot say update this table, set example staff first name is equal to ABC, where this is our general update statement. If you remember, this is not going to work in view because view is a virtual table. It's basically consists of an SQL query, nothing else. Okay. And it is not going to store any physical data. Unlike these tables are basically having some data inside this. But here there is no data. There is only SQL query behind this view. This is a very important question. What is the difference between table and view? We will use views only to, when in working in real-time environment, we will be building a lot of SQL queries. We don't want everybody to use the SQL queries, so we'll put all the SQL query inside a view. Okay. Why? Because some of the junior developers, they may go ahead and remove this condition. It will result in wrong results. Okay. In order to avoid all that and ensure everyone uses the same SQL query, we'll just create a view. That is why it is called as VIEW view. Okay. Can you try and see if you can create it? You can write any statement. If you have an employee table, you just say select star from employee table. Create view, employee details. As you can just say select star from any table which you have. Not launching. Stuck there on it. You restart your laptop. Then also problem. Is it working? After you create a view, go ahead and expand that view on that folder and just check all the columns, everything. Okay. You can call view as virtual table, or you can call it as logical table, which means it only holds a logic. Logic is coming from an SQL query. So it doesn't hold any results. Results are always based on the select query, whatever is you have written behind the view. It's working, right? Once you have created a view, now go ahead and call that view. Select star from whatever the view name you have given. Call that view. Also put a multiple clauses and also see if it is working. Let's say where do we have here? We have staff idea. Let's run this. Where store name is equal to Santa Cruz. It should work as our regular select statements, and there's no difference in the way you use it. Everything is going to be the same. You can use the same alter drop commands for view also. If you want to alter the view, you can say alter view. Okay, so I just modified my SQL query. Before it was like where store name not in Baldwin bikes. I will now take only Baldwin bikes, and I just gave instead of create view, I now made it as alter view, and my view is updated. Now, if I query this same view, I should only see the stores, all the orders for Baldwin bikes. Okay, this is how you can modify the select statements in your using alter view. And the last one is a drop view, which will simply drop that object, nothing else. Okay, you can see this object has been dropped. Clear? Any doubts on view before we move to the next topic? We can expect at least one question coming for view. Question would be very simple. What exactly is a view? They'll not ask very deep question. What is the difference between a table and view? Okay. So now let's go ahead and learn a little bit about functions. So there are two types of functions in SQL. Okay. The first one is called system defined functions. The second one is called user defined functions. Okay. System defined is simple, like the sum, count, whatever you are using. Everything is built in SQL. That is why this is called as system defined function. Okay. Now there is another option which is called as user defined, which means you can go ahead and create any functions you want. And that is not the focus for today. Our focus is on the system defined function. Okay. Mainly these system defined functions are divided into aggregate, string functions, date functions. And then you can call it as mathematical functions. Now let's go ahead and learn a little bit about aggregate functions. This is one of the most easy functions to learn in SQL. So let's look at this report table. Select star from superstore. No much change. It is our regular superstore table, nothing else. I want to do basically segment wise. I want to know what is the total sales. Okay, we'll say sum of sales. Right, sum function basically it's an aggregate function. As I told in the previous scenario, right? Whenever you use any aggregate functions, you have to use group by. So I'll say group by segment. Now this basically what it is doing, it goes to every row within corporate, automatically take the sum of all these values and print it over here. How do we rename this column? As total sales. Okay. Now, right next to that, I also want to print what is the total number of orders which are available in the segment. Okay. All you have to do is count of order ID. Okay. Let's rename this as number of orders. Sorry. Print here. This is sum of sales. And this is total order. Okay. Now under corporate, check that. Under corporate, I want to know what is the minimum sales figure. Maybe there are total 3090 orders. Every order ka sale value it will be like $10. What is that minimum? So we have learned about min function, right? You can use the same min function, min of sales. The minimum sales in corporate is 0.556. And similarly, this is for home office and consumer. I'll call this as min sales. And then the next one is maximum. What is the maximum sales amount by this segment? Okay. And then last, which is the last one? Average. Do you think if we have any sales with a value 0, will it consider in average? It will consider. If it is null, will it consider? It will not consider. Okay. You can take a look at it. Now, totally, we have applied how many functions? One, two, three, four, five functions we have applied. You will be definitely using all these functions. So you can go ahead and write this and let me know if this is working. Go ahead.
Count of order ID. You are given two brackets. One is
Because of that space, order ID is there in space, right?
okay.
That is the reason. You can even give count star also if you know.
Star order
Star.
ID.
No, no, just say count star. Yesterday we were counting total number of records.
Fine.
Star will also. Error बताओ. Microsoft क्या है? Microsoft OLE DB 12.0 is not registered on. No, no, no. The one software exe file has to be downloaded. Actually, I also got that error. So I downloaded one software. This one. I'll share this link. Okay. You'll log in now. You log into Zoom. I'll share it. Okay. Working, huh? Whoever has already done it, go ahead and add some other column in some other dimension. Okay. Maybe segment के साथ you add region and then see how your numbers will get split. It's okay. You want me to paste this query? I'll paste it in the chat box.
Sir, in this window,
Hmm.
there is a blue line called ready, and it is mentioned like LN34 colon 25. What does that mean, sir?
Sorry, what is that?
In the same window, what you are presenting now,
Uh-huh.
in down next to that taskbar, there is a blue color line, right? Ready.
Where it is this one?
Yeah. And that is LN34 colon call 25.
No,
What is that?
no. This is nothing. You leave it. This is from that window of SQL query it's coming. Only till
Okay.
here you can observe.
Okay.
See, if anybody is getting a issue with when you're importing Excel in SQL, and if you're getting issue called OLEDB error, I have pasted one link. You can download that exe file and install. You will be able to import the Excel. For example, अभी यहाँ पे मैंने और एक comma ऐड कर दिया. So this is error now. अगर when I try to execute this query, it says incorrect syntax ये करके. Now if you double click this line, it will highlight where is that. I mean, it will not exactly tell you the position, but आपको वो नीचे red color का line दिख रहा है ना इधर. So that will one way to identify that this is where your query is wrong. Segment. काउंट ब्रैकेट नहीं डाला है ना इधर. काउंट ऑफ ऑर्डर आईडी को ब्रैकेट डालना पड़ेगा. काउंट फंक्शन ब्रैकेट डाल दीजिए आएगा. Okay, so what I have done is I have created one channel. So I will be pasting all my interview related details with respect to whatever new updates on the trainings which we are providing. So I will just display it. So in case if you want to like stay connected with all the updates and everything, you can just follow that channel. So I've created that in Instagram and it has all the details. And I have also pasted the link of my YouTube channel. So it has everything, all the videos, how to get started. But I am not active. I was very active like 4 or 5 years back, but now I have again reactivated that. So going forward, I'll add all those things. But for now, you can just, if you're interested, you can follow that. You can just go to Instagram and just follow Tableau Power BI. Okay, so you can just follow it. And this is my channel, youtube.com. Tableau, just type Instagram में जाके Tableau Power BI. You will see one kind of an image which says Power BI versus Tableau. Okay.
Yes, Javed, we can see that.
Yeah. So you can follow with me. So I'll be if you want to stay in touch and if you have any queries, even after your program gets completed in all this data analytics, any queries or anything, yeah, you can follow it. And if you go to this link, youtube.com at Visionis, if you just click on that, this will take you to my YouTube channel. Okay. So I have a couple of videos, so around 56 videos, but it's more of like, Tableau and Power BI focused. I will be uploading all the podcast, which we are, some of these recording sessions also will be part of it, but I need some time. So I will ensure that I'll have some content also coming in this channel as well. Okay. So primarily you can follow this channel. So all your updates, even the job openings, So I'm going to get few recommendations on some of based on my network, where people are looking for somebody who's new in TabView, Power BI, or SQL. So I'll post the details like how to apply the job. And there is a recent drive which will be happening in the next month, which is in the month of November. As soon as I get the details, I will let you know. As of now, I don't have much details, but there is a drive which is happening. So I'll let you know that. Okay. And here you can find some very useful. So there are few videos which has, people have really seen a lot. For example, if you look at this one, around 12,000 people. So all these are 6 years back. I have pasted pasted that. So, but yeah, I will going forward. I'll ensure I'll have some relevant content for somebody who is learning into data analytics. Okay. I mean, this is just based on your voluntary. So if you want to stay in touch and like to have it, only then you can follow. Nothing compulsory. Okay. So now coming back to the functions. So what we did is see the moment we added segment and then region, you see automatically there is a split. Okay, you will get lot of requests as when you work with SQL that can you create a report and share it? Can you create a simple report which tells you what is the total number of orders by each segment and region? There are no limitations with the number of dimensions. For example, I want product name. I can go ahead and add product name also. Unlike Excel, we don't have option of that drill down and all of that. It is more of output. Okay. So the output will be like this. Okay. Now tell me if I give you a scenario here, I want only those orders which are placed at least 3 times. See, if you see here, we have number of orders 3, 1, 3, and all of that, right? I want only those records where number of orders is 3. So will you use where clause or will you use having?
Only three.
Yeah, only
Where?
Having, right?
Hmm?
Having.
Having, correct. So when you use where clause now, where clause is happening at row level. If you remember it, we learned about where clause. It's a row level operation. Now, whatever this output, if you want to filter the final output, then only you have to use having. Okay. Now I'll remove this statement. Let me comment this. Now you just take a look at this one. I'll say where count of order ID is equal to 3. So you will not be able to use a function in where clause because where clause is a row level operation. Okay. So always make a note of this. It's a row level operation. Clear? Now, yesterday we were learning about subquery, right? What I will do is I can create this as a subquery. Select star from. This is my entire query. As I'll call this as segment summary. Okay. Now, what is subquery here? This is my subquery. So this entire subquery will save it in an alias, which is called as segment summary. And from segment summary, I'm just taking all the values. Let's go ahead and run this. We'll get same result, no difference. Now what I will do is where number of orders is equal to 3. Will this work? It will work. Please note that the moment you give this as a subquery, now this becomes like one virtual table. Okay. Now this table ke liye you are applying a where clause. It will work whatever you want because This is the final values. This is now a table for this query. Okay. Yesterday, that's why I said that is the basics of subquery. Now you know the importance of subquery, right? Now this you can also create it as a view, and then you can filter it. So how do we create this as a view? Just copy this entire statement, paste it here. I'll say that create view as segment summary. Okay. View segment summary as. Okay. Let's go ahead and expand our SQL batch tree and refresh this. You can see segment summaries. Now I can say select star from segment summary and I will see the same results. Okay. Now here also I can apply where number of orders is equal to 3. Very beneficial. Why it is beneficial? Whenever you create some query and use some aggregated functions, on top of that results, you want to perform some operation. Option 1, if you have access to create object, create that as a view so that it will become a virtual table and then you can write whatever queries you want on top of that result. Second is you don't have option to create view. Maybe you don't have permissions or something like that. Then you can go with the second approach of subquery. Any query, you can make it as a subquery. Now, this entire subquery, which I have called it as a segment summary, you can even call this inside your joins. Okay. Yesterday we learned about joins, right? In joins, what we did, we directly called the table. We can even call your subquery to join it. I'll show you an example of that. Let's say we have select star from superstore. Now, what we will do is for every segment which we have here, from this query, we have printed what is the minimum sales, what is the maximum and average sales, right? So if I run this query, let's run only this one. Okay. So you have your total sales. Let's remove few dimensions as we don't need all of them. We'll remove region and product. We'll keep it only simple till here. Every segment ka we have the total sales. Okay. Now every order ID, whatever the sales amount is, I want to divide it by this total sales. Okay. Which is every order ID, which is this one. Example 1380. This order ID ka what is the sales amount? 32.7. I want to divide 32.7 divided by the total sales. So I need that column here, right? If I don't have that column, how will I divide? For that, I can do a join. I can say inner join. And I can bring this entire query. Call this as segment summary on. After this, the keywords are same. Like how we did the join yesterday, it is same. Which is on, what is that? Superstore dot segment is equal to segment summary dot segment. See, what it has done is wherever there is a segment called home office, it will go ahead and print that information. This is how we can use a subquery to any scenario. Okay, you can use it in joins, you can use it wherever you want. This entire is our sub. Now you can also call a view also here. So you can remove this entire statement. We created that view called segment summary. You can even call that. If you feel it is very sophisticated, the SQL query, you are not able to read a lot, make this as a view and call this view inside your join statements. Both will work. Okay. Now for an example, what you can do is you can go ahead and first create a subquery. Whatever query you have already written this query, right? Just say select star from and make this as a subquery. Once you have done it, you just filter it where number of orders is equal to 3 and see if it is working. I'll paste this query also in the chat box. If you need it, you can take it as a reference. Is it clear? Any doubts? So we have learned different ways to give alias. Subquery could be alias. Everything is as. Column, if you want to give alias, as. Table, you want to give alias, it is as. Shall we move to the next one? It's done now. Anybody is practicing? Let me know. If not, we can go to the next topic. Okay. So now those are the aggregate functions. There are a lot many others, but the sum, count, average, min, and max. That is what you will use it on day-to-day basis. Let's look at the date functions. So we have order date and we have shipment date. What we want to do is we want to take a difference between these two, and we will call that as a age or days to ship, which means this order is placed on 19th of October, but the shipment has happened on 24th October. So the difference is probably around 5 days. Likewise, for every order, we want to find the difference. So how do we find the difference? We have to use a date function. So same like Excel, we have date diff. Okay. So the difference, we want the difference in day. So I'm just typing as day, comma. What is the start date? Order date. What is the end date? Shipment date. And what is the column name we should give this? Column name is days to ship. You can see here days to ship is 5. Can you try this function? This is the most important function in SQL. Unlike Excel, we don't have that network days and all of that. But options is there. You have to write a lengthy query. But this is the straightforward option, date diff. Now, those who have already done it, take some time and think about this function. Think about the output. Now, the problem statement we said was we want to calculate days to ship. How much time you need to ship that order from the order date to shipment date. We got the values, correct? Anybody who is not getting any values? I hope everyone should get that. Those who has already got values, take some time and think what kind of charts we can create with this column. Months also you can do. But I don't know. We'll come to that. What and instead of day, what and all we can choose. But days to shipment, now you have the values. For every order ID, you come to know what is the difference, how much time you have taken, what kind of charts we can create, what kind of visuals we can create using this field. That is the thing you guys should learn, right? How to extract meaningful insights. We learned how to create charts in Excel.
Now, since this is like date related
Hmm.
or time related, concern here,
Mhm.
the line chart would be the appropriate chart type, right, Javed?
Yes, I mean, definitely line chart we can create, but before going to that step, now we have this field called days to ship. We have some values. What dimensions we will use? What is that you want to represent that information, right? So we have so many dimensions here, right? First thing is we need to set that context key. What is that you want to show it to an end user? Okay. So are you going to use a shipment date field and you will say for each month, what is the time you have taken to ship the orders? Or you will use order date? Or do you use shipment mode? So because there are a lot many dimensions, right? So you need to think through about what kind of dimension you will use to create a meaningful insight. For example, let's say I want to show by shipment mode wise, what is the time we are taking to ship the order? So we have standard class, we have first class, second class. How do we show for each shipment mode, what is the time we are taking? Now, what do we have in your results? We have the results at order ID level. If you take a look at it, this number is at order ID level, which means for every 10,194 records, based on the date, we got the value. What do you want to achieve? By shipment mode wise. So you want to group your data. How do we group your data? All I'll do is I'll remove star, I'll add shipment mode, group by shipment mode. Okay. Now, this particular statement is a row level operation. So it went at order ID level and extracted the information. So we want to aggregate this. So shipment mode के लिए aggregate क्या करेंगे? We need to do average. Maybe there are 100 orders in first class. Maybe for some we took 5 days, some we took 4 days. It will take average and display on an average for each shipment mode, how much time we are taking. Let's run this query now. And you can see here, for same day, we are delivering the order same day only. Like the difference is 0, which means we are good. For first class, we are taking 2 days to ship. For standard class, we are taking 4 days. And for second class, we are taking 3 days. Which is the time consuming here? Standard class. This is a meaningful insight. Correct. Right? Now, let's go ahead and copy this data. Put it in Excel. We know how to create charts, right? Let's check. I just created a simple chart. Okay. So this is how it makes you a data analytics professional, which means you have some data, you know how to write a query, extract a data, write some function to derive some measure, and then whatever the output is, that output you will show it in a form of visual. This is called as end-to-end, full stack, whatever they call. This is what they, which means you are a complete package. You know, if the data is in Excel, large data, import it in SQL, write a query, export the results. But if you're not using Excel, probably if you're using Tableau or Power BI, you don't have to do Excel only. You can simply copy this entire query and put it inside your Power BI or Tableau and create it. Okay, can everyone write this function? Just whatever date diff you have written, all you have to do is just use average function and get the values by shipment mode. It's okay. I'll also paste this query in chat box. If somebody is looking for, please take it as a reference. Those who have done it, go ahead and copy paste this query. Instead of shipment mode, can you use subcategory and check the results? Now, those who have got the results, please tell me what kind of chart we can use here. Bar chart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. How to assign every value, how to assign one color to it automatically. For every subcategory, we want to assign some unique color in Excel. You can do manually, right click over, but automatically we have so many subcategories, right? Automatically it should assign one color randomly. There is an option called in series days to ship, right? There's an option called varies color by point. Okay, if you click on that, automatically it will assign one color. If you make this as vertical chart, right, it will look even better because horizontal made there are 17 subcategories. Okay, because user ऐसे कभी scroll नहीं करेगा. User always scroll like this. Okay, always when you design any charts, try to use vertical bar, don't use horizontal bar. Okay. Let's look at the next dimension. So far, we worked with some dimensions like subcategory and shipment mode. Like Vimal was saying, right? We can show time intelligence. We can use some date field. Now, please note that if you use order date, then the results would be different. If you use shipment date, then the results will be different. Okay. Now I just simply added shipment date just to show an example here. What is happening is it basically takes individual date. Since our data is at date level, so it takes a date level and plot this. Now you can use some functions in Excel, convert this and extract year, month, whatever you want. But in SQL also you can extract. For example, this shipment date, I want only month number. I don't want anything else. So you can just say month of shipment date. Okay. You can see here, this is the month number. Okay. Let's go ahead and sort this. Let's rename this column as month. Okay. Similarly, you can use year if you want to extract year out of it. Let's copy paste this query. Okay. Please note we have data for how many? 5 years of data. When you use month of shipment date, it is just a month number. It will not tell you which year ka this month is. It can be January 2020, 2020, but that is not there in your dimension. If you have to bring that, you have to call that function. I'll call that you can see here, first it will take all 2020 ka 12 months, then 2020 ka 12 months, likewise, whatever year we have. I'll rename this column as year. Okay.
And Javed, one slight thing that I able to notice is that in the earlier sessions, at the end of every query that we established, there was a colon given to complete that
You can
query.
give it. Yeah, it's not mandatory, but you can give it.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So we extracted year, we extracted month. You can even extract day also. All you have to do is just call day function. Day of shipment date. Okay. If I run this query, will it work? Why? Group by day of shipment date you need to do, no? Please remember, whenever you use any aggregate function, you have to, whatever dimensions, these are all dimensions. You need to use that in the group by clause. Okay. So we got the day here. Let's rename this as day. Similarly, you can do nested sorting. Because now sorting is not happening at day level. 2020, I don't think so. We have any data before 7th. That's why we don't see any records there. Okay, this is how we can extract year, month, day from date field. These are simple functions, same like Excel only, no much difference. Now in date diff mein, we use the difference between date, right? So let's copy this function. Let's remove group by also not needed. So we are just taking the difference. So if you want the difference instead of day, you want the difference in month, you just type month. I don't think so. We have any order which is, yeah, maybe there is one order. So if I want to know the difference is saying as 1 month. So how do you validate this? You can bring your order date and shipment date and validate this. This guy 28th of September ko this order got placed and it's shipped on 3rd of October. It is taking as 1 month. So please note that the results are wrong. It's not 1 month because the difference you have given is in month. That's why. If you give the difference as day, it will be how many days? 5 days. You have to be very specific when you use date diff function. Okay. Similarly, you can also use year. Okay. Take a look at this one. The order got placed on 29th December, shipped on next year's ka 2nd January ko. So, okay. So the most appropriate way is always use day. Okay. And on top of that, you can convert into months. How do you convert into months logically? Can anybody tell me? एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि let's say this order का days to ship difference in days is 35 days. How do you convert 35 days into month? 35 divided by 30. It will be in month. So it's like simple here. Select example 35 is your output. You divide it by 30. This will become in month. Similarly, year ko karna hai. Example, one of the order got, it took around 480 days. Ideally, to 480 days nahi hoga. Hypothetically, just imagine. Divided by 365. So you'll get the difference in year. Okay. Same thing. You just have to add here. We learned about operators, right? Just add divided by 30. So all these values will now show it in. Okay. We'll take a break for 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be back by 11:45. Any doubts on deadlift function? Clear, huh? Okay, then let's go ahead. I will show you one more important one. Today we'll go a little bit slow, okay? We'll not go cover a lot of topics because these functions will look very simple. But when you apply different level of dimensions, you will feel lot of complexity, okay? So now I'm going to teach you another function. This is called as date name function because if you print month number, it will print like what is it 1, 2, 3 to 12, right? But what if you want to print the month name, which is January, February, or all of that? There is one function called date name. Okay, and just call the date name function. The first parameter is what do you want to extract from a date? You want to extract day, You want to extract month, you want to extract year, whatever you want. In this scenario, we want month. So we are typing month, comma, which date? I want order date. So I'm just selecting order. Let's change it to shipment date because everywhere else we have shipment date, and run this query. Okay. Now what you're seeing is for every order ID level, shipment date 24/10, the 10 is basically October. Okay. Now if I remove order ID, I'll call this as month name. You can see here, your results are same. Only thing I have removed order ID. Still, this is fetching all the 10,194 records because there is no aggregate functions which are applied here. Okay, let's go ahead and apply AVG, which is average, and then say group by this field. Group by, let's remove this. Okay. And now what we will do is we'll put a filter where year of shipment date is equal to 2023. We want to see records only for 2023. So we got around 12 records. Okay. Now, if you look at for January, we took 4 days. On an average, we are taking 4 days. Which months we are taking less days? Maybe November, October, September, April. We are taking less amount of days. Now you can use this information and create the charts. See, automatically in recommended charts also, it is taking this line chart. Let's go ahead and put a sorting here. January, February, April, May, June, July, August. Okay. So you can see here wherever this line is meeting to that 4, that's where we are taking more time, days to ship. And on an average, consistently for March, April, May, it is stable. Okay. So this is how we can extract the data for specific months. Okay. Is it working for everyone? Date name. Can you try date name and tell me if it is working? This is a very important function again. You will be using, not sure about interview questions, but if you are working with SQL, you might use this function. Yeah. What is the error you are getting?
I think sometimes we have the keyboard which
One second. It is bracketing open. It is not used. A comma is not used. Given comma there. Yes, first clause, where is first clause? First is one. First. We correct problem. Is it working for everyone? If anyone needs help, please let me know. It's working, huh? Shall we move to the next topic? Okay. So there is another function called date part. So majority of the times you will use this function to extract date. So this is like you learn one function for any type of extraction of dates. Okay. Date name function is also same. You would be asking there also we did the same thing. Why do we need to do? Only thing is here number of options are more. Okay. We'll first start with year. So example, you want to extract year from a date. So you can say date part year comma shipment date. Okay. So you can see 2023 is extracted. Similarly, if you want to extract same year, instead of year, you can also give YY. Okay. Or you can also give, the moment you type the parameter, you can see the options are coming there. Everything is same, no difference. Okay. Let's copy this same statement. Instead of year, you want to extract month. You can either type month or you can type double M or single M. Both are same. Please note it is all numerical here. Okay. You can't print the actual month name. It's month number. So similarly, if you want to extract day, just type day. You'll get all the days. And then there is something called week. And you can extract week from that. Out of 53 weeks, whichever week it fall into, it will print that. There is something called day of year. You have learned from Power BI, whoever has attended. What is day of year? We have 365 days.
Day of the 365, yeah.
So it will come from that one. Okay. So day of year, day, month, week number we entered, year, quarter is missing, right? So just enter quarter, you will get quarter level information. I'll paste this query if somebody is looking to run this. Can refer that. So we learned 3 functions in date. After our session is over, I'll share you one text file. What I have done is I have taken what all parameters it will take. See here, we have year, quarter, month, day of year, hour, minute, millisecond, nanosecond, microsecond. Okay, but I never used microsecond and all. But year, quarter, month, day, week. This is definitely you have to use it. So I'll share this so that you can keep it for your reference. That's it on the date functions. Okay, we have only 10 minutes left, 10 to 15 minutes. I'll just cover another 2 functions which are pending. So those functions will come under logical functions. Before talking about that, any other questions on date? All clear? So date diff we learned. Date name, whenever you get a requirement to extract January, February like that, use date name. If your requirement is just normal numbers like numerical numbers of month number 1, 2, 3, 4, go for date part. Okay. Now, what is logical functions? We learned about if else, right? So if something, then you have to print something in Excel, Power both. Those are all called as logical function. Same thing is also available in SQL also. First, we'll query select star from superstore. Okay. So we have the sales amount. What we'll say is, if the sales is greater than $10, we will call this as good, else it is bad. Okay, this is a very important function, so you can expect both interview and you will also use it on your day-to-day basis. So how do you write a if-else expression in SQL? So instead of using single if, it should be double if. And if you open the bracket, the first argument, which is the logical condition. What is that condition? If the sales is greater than 10, comma, value if true. What is that we wanted to print? Good, right? Value if false, I'll say not applicable. Okay. Same thing like Excel, no difference. Instead of single if, it is double if. This is what is your condition. Value if true, value if false. Okay, I will rename this column. We'll call this as sales value group. Some name we are giving, that's it, nothing else. Now, if I run this query, you can see wherever the sales amount is greater than 10, it will be good, else it will be NA. It's a very simple if else expression. I'll copy this in the chat box. Let me know if it's working.
Is not recognizable gradient function name.
Are you typing double if? It should come in pink color. Is it coming? I think this is again something specific to Microsoft SQL. If you work with MySQL Oracle, I don't think so. It's I don't know. I mean, that if is also there. Okay. There is something called case in every SQL case statement. We instead of it we call it as case, and the next function is about that. So I'll explain more about it. Generally, we prefer Microsoft SQL Server for data analytics people because this particular database version built by Microsoft has written all the functions required for reporting people. Whereas MySQL and Oracle, those you don't have lot of such data related functions. It's more of a proper database. So generally everybody who is learning will prefer this because it has a lot of functions. Okay. Okay, you can take a look at the screen. I have added that between condition. Okay, sales is greater than 10 and the sales is less than 15, which will act as between now. Between 10 to 15, whatever is there, it will give as good, else it will give as any. I'll paste it in the chat box. It's working. Now you may ask me that how to add multiple condition. So far you are saying between 10 to 15. I have one more logic which is greater than 15 and less than 20. Where should I write that logic? Same thing like Excel, how we do nested if function. So here, this is my logical condition. Value if true is good. Value if false, right? Here it is I'm giving any, right? Now here I can add one more if function. I'll say I'll copy the same thing. Sales is greater than 15 and less than 20, then what is this value if true? I'll call this as very good. Else NA. Just a simple nested if function, but make sure the brackets and everything is correct. You can see very good here because it is falling under between 15 to 20. Likewise, you can go on and add value false may. You can go on and add as many if conditions as you want.
So like Excel or Power BI, do we have any options to add clause like and or in SQL Java? In the if,
What is that? Can you come again?
like in Excel,
Mhm.
we had the option of adding this clause like if and if or, right? Do we have such options available in SQL?
It is this one only, no? Same thing. Here instead of and, you can add or.
Okay, got it.
Working on. So that's about if else function, nothing else. Okay. So you may come to know about different scenarios. You can use if function if you're comfortable. If you're feeling it's slightly difficult or something like that, we have something called case. Both are same. If else kaise kaam karte hai, same thing, case statement will also work. So I'll quickly show you how it will work. Select star from superstore. Now what I will say is case when region is equal to west. Okay, whenever there is a region is equal to west and subcategory is equal to phone, then I want to call it as WP. W stands for probably first letter of region, first letter. Something I'm trying to create a group. Okay. Else NA. End as, what is the column name? I'll call this as region subgroup. Okay. So I'll read the statement again. Case when is basically in which scenario you want to apply this. When region is west and subcategory is equal to phone, then you call this as WP, or you want to whatever you want, you do it here. Else you can call it as NA and end my case statement. Okay. As is the keyword which we use it for naming the column, I'm saying as region subgroup. So that is the column name I'm giving.
Whenever we use case, we need to end with end.
Yeah, there should be an end. Working on. Just the syntax remembering is important here. 3 words are important: case, when, then, else. Compared to if statement, generally all SQL developers prefer case statement. Working on. Working.
Category had phones.
Phones. Okay. So how to add one more condition to it? So far we added region is equal to west and subcategory is equal to phone. What if region is east and subcategory is storage, right? After then you can add same thing, copy paste the same statement. You say when region is equal to east and subcategory is equal to storage, then WS.
Yes.
Sorry, ES. You can see ES in the result.
Is not required.
And we have added no here. This same statement we are just copy pasting. This is for west and phone. This is for east and storage. My requirement is region and subcategory should be east and storage. That's why I'm using and. Okay. If your requirement is only when region is east, you want to call it as E, then you don't need this line at all. Likewise, you can go on and add as many conditions as you want. I'll just copy paste this same statement. Just make sure it is before else. When region is east and category is paper, I will call this as EP. You can see EP here. This one is you are going to definitely get one question. So I have a scenario where I want to say if the subcategory is phone, I want to group phone, storage, paper, everything into one. What kind of method you can use in SQL? You will use a case statement. Whenever you want to group something, case statement. Any questions, queries on case statement? Easy case statement. Same thing you can do in if statement also, but lamba ho jayega. It function will become very big function. This one is very simplified.
Very also we can do in case.
Yeah, I'll show you that example. Same if else statement which we wrote. Case when sales is, what was the condition? Greater than 10 and less than 15.
It's bad.
No, one more we had, no, that greater than 15 and less than 20. Same statement, instead of writing if, I am writing using case statement.
It's more also work.
It will work. It's working. Working, right? Okay. So that's that's it about for our today's session. Okay. Can you hear us? Install हो गया। या तो एक काम करो, वो एक्सेल को CSV में चेंज करो। तो एक्सेल चाहिए नहीं हमको, CSV से अभी डेटा इंपोर्ट नहीं हुआ है क्या? इसलिए मैंने एक फाइल शेयर किया था ना, वो शेयर कर लिया क्या? वो वाला फाइल, एक SQL फाइल दिया था मैं, जिसमें वो सारा टेबल, ये वाला डॉक्यूमेंट्स, SQL बैच 3 सैंपल सुपरस्टोर, जूम में है ना? जूम में है, लॉग आउट हो गया। काम करता हूँ, ईमेल पे तो ये जाएगा नहीं। जूम लॉगिन कर दो ना, वो इंस्टॉल कर देते हैं डेटा को, तो इजी हो जाएगा। So okay, so that brings us to the end of our session today. So we started learning with views. Views is a logical or a virtual table. It doesn't have any physical data. It's just a SQL statements inside the views. Then we started learning about functions. All so far we have learned is called as system defined functions. In that we learned aggregate function, sum, count, average, min and max. And then date function mein we learned date diff to get the difference between the days, date name to get the month name, date part to extract the different periods. And then we started with logical function. First thing we wrote a simple if else condition. Second is if else between. Third one is a case statement. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. Have a nice day. We'll meet next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Javed.